Hi there, a warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes. We have four topics in tonight's live chat, but let me greet and welcome the participants first. Abraham, first viewer, welcome, Abraham. Uh, Decrypt here, Mamba, Jackie Goss here from Vienna. Welcome, Jackie. Med Abdwali, Ali Jacano, Bishko, Grim Reaper, Mulugata Shimalis, uh, Simon Join. Simon is saying a plague and a volcanic eruption seem like all the signs of a coming Armageddon. Well, let's analyze these developments in an objective scientific way because sometimes when people start analyzing diseases, natural disasters, uh, religiously or in accordance with religious teachings, they don't conduct researches to avoid these disasters and these outbreaks. So just study them. Research should be done so that they could be averted. EOSP here, Skandareva join, Araya Veldekidan, Gitao here. Member says your analysis these days not based on evidence. Well, point out specifically, member, which analysis, which report. Then I can respond to your comment. Otherwise, what can I say? We are anonymous joined. Welcome, we anonymous is a member too. Special welcome. We have first member in tonight's live. That is, we are anonymous. Yusuf Kabede here. Abdul Shikurada joined. Malice Biro says, stop lying. I haven't said a word. I'm just greeting and he's saying, you're lying. Stop lying. Yeah, Morla funny video says earthquakes and volcano going to happen forever. It's part of Earth reshaping itself. Yeah, I agree with you. Skanda says, why are your live chats becoming shorter? I was not feeling well. Uh, Tonight we'll have a longer one. Don't worry. Yeah, I think these natural phenomena should be studied. That is the best way to defend from them. Just putting religious connotations on these natural phenomena actually discourages research and scientific study into these phenomena. It happens everywhere, by the way, not just in Africa, even in here in Pakistan to in Asian countries, in some European countries too. Sometimes people start attributing religious reasons to natural phenomena. Uh, I think they should be treated as natural phenomena, should be studied. Peace and love, Joanne. Welcome, peace and love. Good to see second member. We have four topics in tonight's lecture. Firstly, another coup in an African country. It happened today. I have details for you. Secondly, uh, Marburg virus update spreading. It's now spreading. Details for you. Thirdly, the victim whose hand was chopped off by a Fano Kalu has appeared. We'll talk about that. And fourthly, US Africa Command General visited Ethiopia, Uh, French and Italian military officers have also been in Ethiopia. People are saying that these Western channels are sending a message to Abiy. What I have learned is that Abiy has sent a message to one of these channels. That will explain a little later. Kandar said, do you think Marburg and volcano issues simple coincidences? Yeah, obviously. Obviously. It happens everywhere. I mean, just type volcanic eruptions in the world, you will see that it has been happening for centuries. It's a natural phenomenon. Same is the case with outbreaks. Outbreaks of diseases happen. I mean, what was COVID? You saw so many conspiracy theories about COVID. Uh, but ultimately, it just disappeared. People chose to protect themselves from it. Instead of believing conspiracy theories, governments, people, they studied it. Vaccines were developed, then SOPs were finalized, protection mechanisms were established, and that is how the virus came to an end, or it became less deadly. Let's start, viewers. Firstly, a coup in another African country. First news story in tonight's live. Let me speak for a few minutes. Whenever, by the way, coups happen, uh, Ethiopian state media does not give coverage to the news of coups in African countries. Why? Because maybe it's government's policy that coups should not be highlighted on state media. And if the news is highlighted, that could give an idea to the Ethiopian channels to stage a coup against the government. But coup in Guinea-Bissau was a totally different coup. You know that Guinea-Bissau is a small nation, a coastal nation. I think its area is around 33,000 square kilometers, showing how small the country is. But the country is very strategic. Uh, their military took control of the government today. Interestingly, in Guinea-Bissau, election was held 3 to 4 days ago. Election results, it happened on 23rd of November. 4 days ago, election was held. General election was held in Guinea-Bissau, where Umaro Sissoko, the president, contested against Fernando Diaz, the other candidate. The results were due to be announced on Thursday. So before the announcement of the election results, military took over. A brigadier general with some military officers appeared on national television in Guinea-Bissau, and he announced that the president, Umaro Sissoco, has been detained. Opposition candidate Fernando Diaz has also been detained. Guinea-Bissau's borders have been closed. Institutions have been suspended. The brigadier general who seized power said that the election, which was conducted on the 23rd of November, had huge involvement of drug traffickers. Guinea-Bissau has been the center of the activities of drug dealers from South America. Drug dealers import narcotics to Guinea-Bissau, and from there, the shipments are then by sea, by land, transported to Europe. So Guinea-Bissau has been the center of high-level, world-class drug dealers. And these drug dealers have been having influence in the running of the affairs of the country too. Guinea-Bissau, I think, was a Portuguese colony. In 1974, it became an independent country, poor country. But the leaders, military officers, politicians, they are backed by drug traffickers. So they are rich, people are poor. Who confirmed their. Interestingly, when the election was held on the 23rd of November, 4 days ago, ECOWAS appreciated the way the election was held. And ECOWAS, is a regional body, just like IGAD is. It's a West African regional body. ECOWAS praised the way election was conducted, though the president, Umaro Sissoco, did not allow one main political party to participate in the election. A crackdown was launched on opposition politicians and opposition voters. Election day, polling day was peaceful, but before polling day, a lot happened. So it was a controlled election with involvement of drug traffickers. Now, military has taken over. But will military be able to stabilize? I don't know. By the way, Guinea-Bissau is very close to Mali. You know that in Mali, in 2020, military seized power. Again, a West African country. And Mali's capital has been under siege for days now. In Mali, an Al Qaeda affiliated group is fighting the security forces there. And this group has banned the movement of fuel into the capital city. The capital city is not receiving any gasoline, any diesel, because all the routes leading to capital used for transport of fuel are being controlled by an armed group. So armed group is carrying out attacks on fuel tankers. Drivers are being killed. The group has laid siege to Mali's capital, you can say. The military could not control the situation in Mali, where this Al Qaeda linked group has been operating for years. Entire West Africa, most countries of West Africa are very destabilized. In East Africa, in the Horn of Africa, there is Al Shabaab threat. But in West Africa, there are several other types of threats which the countries are facing. So, coup in Guinea-Bissau confirmed now. Brian Ipsa joined. Welcome, Brian. Mitiko says many of the African countries are ruled by militaries. This has become a culture. Well, has militaries, uh, has any military managed to take a country to progress? I'm not aware of any military takeover in an Afghan country which transformed that country. Institutions are not being built. Sometimes military generals took over, sometimes politicians took over, and sometimes unelected people seize power. I mean, Isas Savuki is not a politician. He's not a general too. He fought during independence, a war, then he seized power. In the last 30 years, he's been in power there. MMT says, how safe is it to travel to Addis since the outbreak? Well, let's have a look at the second news story, which is about Marburg outbreak. Then we'll have a look at the third news story, which is about the victim of Fano's crime, who appeared, and lastly, Abi's message to the US. Well, Marburg virus is spreading now. Its spread has been confirmed now. Today was the deadliest day, 26th of November, Wednesday, was the deadliest day, according to the data shared by the Ethiopian Ministry of Health. Today, 7 tests were conducted. Two confirmed cases were found. Out of 7, 2 were confirmed. 2 died and 2 recovered. So far, 78 tests have been conducted by uh, health officials. 12 cases confirmed, 7 deaths. Deaths are 10, by the way. 3 died with virus-like symptoms before testing could have been done. 10 deaths, 2 recovered, 3 on treatment. Why am I saying that virus is spreading? Because today the Ministry of Health confirmed that 1 confirmed case of the virus has been found in Hawassa. Hawassa is situated, I think, in Sidama. It's a regional capital. It's nowhere near Jinka. Most of the cases reported in recent days happened in Jinka. Jinka and Hawas are far away from each other. If since a confirmed case has been found in Hawassa, it means that virus has spread. It's not just now restricted to Jinka. By the way, I think 4 to 5 days ago, I reported about Hawas. I said that not just me, others too. They said that some patients in Hawassa had been found with Marburg virus-like symptoms. So now it is being confirmed that 1 confirmed case has been found. So virus has spread, you can say. Simon says, so you can recover from it. Well, there is no specific treatment available against Marburg. There is no vaccine, there is no treatment. Symptoms are treated. I mean, if you have fever, you'll be given some anti-fever medicine. If you have headache, you'll be given some anti-headache, anti-pain medicine. There's no specific medicine to treat it. So if your immunity is strong, maybe, if immunity is strong, maybe the patient will recover. If immunity is not strong and there are other health issues too, then the patient could be in danger. Overall mortality rate is very high in this virus outbreak in other countries. Mortality rate remained around 60 to 80%. That is why it's alarming. If diagnosis confirms the infection, uh, it could be dangerous. V Wagon said, do you think the coup in Guinea will have any consequences for Tanzania? Well, interesting question, by the way. In Tanzania, Samia Sulu Hassan is trying to control the situation. Guinea is a different case, I think. That part of Africa is prone to coups. And Guinea has seen, I think, four coups so far. Since 1974, four coups and multiple attempted coups. So coups are not new to Guinea, to West Africa. Tanzania is a different case, but the way Samia has conducted the election, there is resentment there in Tanzania too. Goracha says, I'm appealing to my countrymen to comply with official health guidelines to control Marburg virus. Yeah, definitely. It's for the safety of the people that guidelines have been issued. DSG joined, another member. Welcome, DSG. Mitiko said, do you think that do you know that Haile Mariam Desalegn is the only civilian who ruled Ethiopia? Well, how strong or how powerful was Haile Mariam Desalegn? I think he was last prime minister of EPRDF, but he was basically EPRDF's representative. RWG says, hi Sajid, what is your view regarding movements in different African countries encouraging Ethiopian doing the same thing? Well, that is why Ethiopian state media is not giving coverage to coup in Guinea-Bissau. Whenever protests happen in African countries, Ethiopian media does not, state media does not share any detailed stories about it. And whenever a protest just starts, Ethiopian security forces use force ruthlessly to crush the protests. I think government is very clear that it won't allow any protest. Whenever it sees a sign of the start of a protest, it uses force, brute force to crush the protests. And I think when leaders are not ready to lead people, why should people come out and just risk their lives? Leaders are fleeing the country, and from a safe distance, they want to start a movement against this government. Leaders who can mobilize people, they don't want to be in prison in Ethiopia. They don't want to lead the people. They just want to stay abroad and issue statements from there. So why should people then risk their lives? Thirdly, viewers, the victim has appeared. The victim whose hand was chopped off by a Fano fighter. Kalu is the name of the Fano fighter who is in custody now. Uh, and you know that an interview of the Fano fighter was released this morning. Kalu is in custody. He admitted that he chopped off the hand of that victim, but he said that he was following the orders, the directions given to him by a senior uh, commander, and he said that he had no option but to comply with the instruction. But after having done the crime, he regretted and he decided to lay down arms and just surrender. So, Fano Kalu actually shifted the blame on senior commanders of Fano for cutting the hand of the victim. Interview was released obviously by Ethiopian security forces because without their permission, no one can interview the man. Then, 2 to 3 hours ago, we saw the victim. The victim has appeared. He is alive, by the way. In an interview from a hospital, from a health clinic, the man confirmed that his hand and his ear had been chopped off by three Fano fighters. He mentioned three names in his interview: Lema, Kalu, and Tassio. By the way, this man, the victim who lost his hand, is an ENDF member, Ethiopian National Defense Force member. Luckily, he survived. He is receiving treatment at a hospital and he seems to be in stable condition. You know that Daniel Kibret claimed today that from the mobile phone of the captured or surrendered Fano Kalu, several pieces of information have been collected by the Ethiopian security forces. Best English says it is false and exaggeration on Marburg. Don't try to fake news. I shared numbers with you, the stats with you, which were published by Ministry of Health of Ethiopia 2 hours ago. And you are saying false news, fake news. You should know how to differentiate between fake news, false news, and factual news. Problem is that when people don't like someone, they just start accusing them of being paid, of spreading false propaganda without actually caring to listen to what is being said. Bakak says, I told you last time that if the Simdo gets cold, an Ethiopia war will follow. Calm down. Well, the Simdo is there. There is one issue, by the way. Let me explain a little. Uh, TPLF is requesting international community, Pretoria mediators to step in. You saw statements of TPLF Central Committee and Tigray government. They want Americans, Westerners, African Union, IGAD to step in. But at the same time, they want to expand the SIMDO. The two cannot go together. Western countries, Americans, did you see any statement from any country, Western country, any Western country, Americans, did any of them ever issue a statement backing the SIMDO? Did you see that? I did not see any such statement. It means that TPLF will have to tone down its the SIMDO to engage Western countries. TPLF is engaging Western countries. That's what, by the way, they decided And I said that they are again trying the option of dialogue with the federal government. And for that, they need the support of their supporters in the West, diplomats. But when they engage Westerners say, "What are you doing on the border with Eritrea? You are violating the border. You are openly forming partnership with Eritrea. If you don't stop, we cannot put pressure on Abiy to talk to you." That is why I think TPLF is in a difficult position. It cannot openly pursue the Simdo. It does not mean that it has just discarded the Simdo. The Simdo is there, ties between Eritrea, TPLF there, but less publicized now because TPLF is engaging Westerners. Will the Westerners engage Abiy with the sort of dialogue between Abiy and TPLF? Let's see. I think when TPLF loses hope of dialogue with the federal government and war is imminent, then you might see public engagement between TPLF and Eritrea. So far, they're trying the option of dialogue with the federal government through Pretoria mediators. Yeah, Don, you are late. Mitiko says the hand chopping case indicates the extent to which the Ethiopians are becoming savages. Well, it was difficult to watch, by the way. Uh, it was difficult to watch. The man who was cutting the hand was like enjoying it. And it seemed as if it wasn't new to him. It seemed as if he was used to doing such acts. That was more alarming. But the victim, I think, uh, he showed the courage which perhaps he had to show because he had no option. Uh, he somehow went through this ordeal. Best English is now criticizing me, saying alarming news, breaking news, good news, bad news. Title of this live chat has none of these words. He mentioned false news just a few minutes ago. I said, what are you saying? I just quoted health ministry figures. Now he's saying alarming news, breaking news, good news, bad news. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to what I'm saying? If you're not listening, then why are you wasting your time writing such comments? Lastly, viewers, last news story uh, is about Alim joined. Welcome, Alim. Well, Alim, the Fano perpetrator, I think he's from Wollo. Incident happened in South Wollo, Varelo, and the man, Kalu, is also from South Wollo. Now, what was the message given to Ethiopian PM by visiting American channel? Or which message was delivered by Ethiopian PM, Ethiopian Field Marshal to the visiting American general? Some people are saying that Western countries are sending a strong message to Ethiopia. They're linking some dots which I think should not be linked. I mean, what they're presenting as analysis lacks, I think, evidence, lacks solid foundation. They're saying that military officers from France, Italy, and the US have visited Addis Ababa. It's unprecedented, and all of them are telling Ethiopian PM that the Prime Minister should not wage war, that war is unacceptable. First of all, the visits of American, French, and Italian military officers are separate events. They're not interlinked. That's what I have confirmed. AFRICOM General General Dagwin visited Ethiopia. He will visit other countries too. Uh, Italian naval officers are visiting Ethiopia in connection with naval cooperation between Ethiopia and Italy. French military officers are visiting Ethiopia to enhance Ethiopia France defense cooperation. France has been a weapon supplier to Ethiopia in the past, if you remember. So the visits of military officers of the three countries are not linked, firstly. Secondly, uh, secondly, when General Dagwin of Africa Command, AFRICOM General, visited Addis Ababa, he met with Ethiopian Prime Minister, he met with General Jula. And after that, General Jula led ENDF issued a statement saying that the General Dagwin, supported Ethiopian case for access to sea, but through dialogue and peacefully. And secondly, the Ethiopian military said that the US visiting general said that Ethiopia can play a stabilizing role if it gains access to the sea. That's what Ethiopian government said. A clip of General Dagwin was published today. He talked about his visit of Ethiopia. There is no mention of sea access. There is no mention of Ethiopian role to stabilize the Red Sea. I don't know what ENDF said and why it claimed that the general backed Ethiopian case for sea access, though through peaceful means. The general, in his talk, which now has been published in a short clip, he thanked Ethiopia and he said he is visiting Ethiopia because Ethiopia is a key partner when it comes to security and fight against terrorism in the Horn of Africa, in East Africa. Basically, General wants Ethiopian military support in the fight against Al-Shabaab. That's why the General visited Ethiopia. But Ethiopian PM and Ethiopian Field Marshal gave a message to the General to be delivered to the US government. The Ethiopian government is linking the fight against Al-Shabaab to Ethiopian case for the sea access. So General Jula told General Dagwin that if US wants a more proactive Ethiopian role in the fight against Al-Shabaab, US will have to support Ethiopian case for access to sea, that Ethiopia wants access to Red Sea peacefully. US should support Ethiopia diplomatically. Ethiopia has been part of operations against Al-Shabaab for years. Ethiopia, US, other players have been jointly fighting in Somalia. Ethiopia is still committed to fight against terrorism, but Ethiopia wants US to support Ethiopian case for access to sea. If US wants continued Ethiopian support in the fight against Al Shabaab. So that was the message given by the Ethiopian Field Marshal and the Ethiopian Prime Minister to General Dagwin. General promised to deliver the message to the Ethiopian government. Let's see what happened to the US government. Let's see what Trump government does. You know that Ethiopia Egypt talks are going to start as well about GERD, again being mediated by Americans. And Ethiopia is the linking any agreement with Egypt to access to sea through Eritrea. So US, I think, is going to be a key player now when it comes to Ethiopian case for sea access. You know that Trump has announced that a tremendous progress has been made. Russia-Ukraine war could come to an end. He has announced to step in to end Sudanese civil war too, and Egypt wants him to step in to solve GERD dispute too. If he is intent on solving GERD dispute, sea access dispute could also be handled by Americans. Darni, I explained that the visits of these military delegates are not linked. People are building analysis in the air, just linking the visits. When will those talks begin? Simon says. Talks between Ethiopia and Egypt. I don't know, but State Department has been instructed to make preparations. I think they will start lower level talks first, maybe on diplomatic, on embassy level. Uh, I know one man who has been tasked with leading these talks on Ethiopian side. I should not disclose his name, but he will visit the US in coming days, I think. Yeah, Alim, one of the main concerns for Italians is that they want to curb the flow of illegal migrants from the Horn of Africa. That is why Italy has been engaging Eritrea. Italy engages Ethiopia too. And secondly, I think Italy has realized that it can make money by building Ethiopian navy. Skandar says, how likely is coup of some kind in Ethiopia? Well, did Republican guards exist before Abiy came to power? I don't think so. I think Republican Guards force was formed after Pimabi came to power. And that is one of the first decisions he made when he rose to power. And he believes that Republican Guards is the shield against coups, and that this force has just ensured that there'll be no one now, that no one can stage a coup in Ethiopia. Republican Guard directly report to the Ethiopian Prime Minister. They're not under military control. Goracha, Skandar is just asking a question. He's talking about possibility of coup. It's just a question. Let's talk about possibility of coup. What's wrong with that? Just a scenario is being discussed. With 48 minutes have passed, I think I should leave now. You were complaining that Sajid's live chats are short. So tonight we had a longer live chat. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for tolerating me for around 50 minutes. We'll continue longer live chats now from tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. Till then, bye bye.